June 2nd, 2026, our regular scheduled meeting, first of the month. Please call roll.
Jeff Botts.
Here.
Derek Pettigo.
Here.
Tim Durham.
Here.
Tim Coomer.
Here.
Marty Kinslow.
Here.
Ronnie Stinson.
Here.
Brad Gross.
Here.
Judge Byrd.
Here. We need a motion for the adoption of the orders of the day. I need a motion and a second.
Make the motion.
Motion by Pettigo, second by Kinslow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the standing order to pre-approve certain reoccurring expenses for fiscal year 2026, 2027. Those are bond payments, lease payments for copiers, ambulance principal, which we're actually paying on that, or actually the EMS building bond, that's paid. Yeah, that's already done. So that's great. The postal charges, lease payments, and bond payments. That's it. So that's, yeah, these are ongoing reoccurring payments. So I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Gross.
Second.
Second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Welcome, everyone, to the meeting today. Announcements. This Saturday is the Sip, Shop, and Stroll right here on the square. It starts, I think, at 10:30. It goes all day long, and they're still looking for volunteers if anybody wants to come volunteer with the Glasgow Downtown Business Group. I will say, too, and they did announce, the farmers market, since it now has moved, they're going to stay open even later, I think, than normal on Saturday, too, so that both parties can come to both events. Also, another announcement, Serve 309 is the volunteer service group that's multiple churches, not just one church, that have come together, and they're doing big projects in our community this week. So you'll see pictures and people volunteering. Like today, they're actually going to be working on the development center boxes out there, the garden boxes that were built, and they're going to do those, and it's going to be youth in our community helping out with the garden club and getting all that done. So big thank you to those people. And the square project is almost done. The landscaping on the city side is almost, they got one little patch that's almost done, but they'll get it done before this weekend. The sidewalks, there's about one area that still needs to be done. They told me it'll be done by Wednesday, but they'll have it all cleaned up before this weekend. But aside from that, everything is almost done there. And trying to think if there's anything else on the square to come up. Events. June the 25th is the Louisville Orchestra. If you've never been to that event, I highly recommend coming. They are wonderful. They are paid for through state funding to come into communities like ours, and they're great. So I would highly recommend that. July 2nd, Community Band is coming as well. They're always looking for donations to help support. I talked to Mr. Fudge as well. Is that something? Okay. Oh, sorry. Bless you. Okay, you good, Gary? And then June the 13th is the car show here on the square. And Marty Brown is that night at the Plaza Theater. And then, of course, the fireworks at Cave City, July the 3rd, and the State Park fireworks, July the 4th. So that's the upcoming month events. Is there anything else, event-wise? Okay.
Event-wise, Judge, but today at 4 p.m. is the filing deadline for all the things that haven't filed. So Cave City Council, Cave City Mayor, Park City Commissioner, Park City Mayor, all of Glasgow School Board, Caverna School Board, which Caverna, they can file in Hart or Caverna, because it's either or, we just have to talk to them. Glasgow, Park City, Glasgow, Caverna, all those school board members. Barren County, District 1 and 3 for Barren County School Board, Soil and Water Conservation Board, all those deadlines are today at 4 p.m. in the county clerk's office.
Okay. I think, is there anything else? No, okay, got it. All right. Need to approve the minutes of May 21st, 2026.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer. Second by, who was that? Stinson? Stinson. Second by Stinson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the payment of claims as presented. Need a motion and a second.
Make the motion.
Motion by Kinslow.
Second.
Second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the transfer of funds. I need a motion and a second.
Motion, Judge.
Motion by Durham.
Second.
Second by Botts. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approve personnel actions as presented. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve a resolution acknowledging the presence of telecommunication facilities in counties' right of way. Need a motion and second, and Mike can discuss that, please. Motion by Stinson, second by Kinslow. Mike.
Okay, so I was contacted by an attorney representing Unity Group, Inc., so they are acquiring Windstream Communications. Everybody's familiar with Windstream. They have, they provide telecommunication services in the county, and they're already in they utilize our county's right-of-ways. The attorney, wanting to do things the right way, had asked that we consider doing a franchise agreement as required under the Kentucky Constitution. In these situations where you are utilizing the right-of-ways all over the county, these franchise agreements, it's required that they be advertised, which it would be a non-exclusive agreement. And when I say franchise, we're not talking about like fast food franchise. This has got a specific term under the Kentucky Constitution where if the county is giving a right for an entity to do something they wouldn't otherwise have the right to do. In this case, allowing to use the right-of-ways all over the county for communication services, then you're required to do do advertising. They would be the only one that would really be bidding on it, and they said they would pay for the advertising costs. And after that, we would award them a franchise. Now it's a long agreement. All counties do it. They have a model that we can look at, but obviously that would be up to 20 years. That's the other limitation in the Constitution. It can't be for more than 20 years. Obviously, didn't want to rush that, so the attorney and I were going to look through that. They've got a model one that they've done in other counties. Obviously, we could have our own suggestions, but I wanted to have Tom be able to review that and to present it to you for your consideration. In the meantime, they're going through a process where they're moving the Windstream assets into a different LLC to kind of organize things better. So in the process of doing all that and also waiting to work out a franchise agreement, they've asked that we pass this resolution to just acknowledge the status quo, that they're already there in the right of way, and that as long as they're paying their franchise taxes, we'll just keep things as they are until we can pass that franchise agreement. The other reason why franchise agreements are necessary too is it kind of spells out, what happens if, for example, if they have a third party, for example, digging up a right of way to add lines or whatever, and we have complaints that, hey, they put the dirt back, but it looks horrible. There's ways to outline like, hey, you're expected to keep them as they were. There's penalties if you don't do that, and things of that nature. Also outlines what happens to everything at the end of the franchise agreement. There's already an example in our ordinances that's expired, but from a previous franchise agreement that we did in the past with Mediacom. So it's been done before. It's nothing unusual, but obviously it's going to take some time to work it out. So I'd ask the court to pass this to recognize the status quo and also to give me time to work with the attorney and present to you a potential franchise agreement.
Any questions?
I think they're currently in the process. They have to also go through the Public Service Commission, and I think they've already got the final order to do all that. It's just to transfer assets. It's nothing major. But I think if they weren't already in the process, they may have already done that. But the franchise agreement would be with Unity, or a combination of Unity and Kinetic ABS Kentucky LLC, which is the LLC that they're transferring the Windstream assets to.
There will be protection for the county. I know at one instance we had, I think it was maybe Windstream or something, that run a cable through one of our road tiles, so we're protected from any misdoing that we could.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the first thing I asked the attorney was, that issue, because that issue that was brought to our attention happened to be also along the state right-of-way. It was right next to a county road, so I had communicated with the state, and they were looking into that issue. Apparently, it was a third party that Windstream was using, But I mentioned that to the attorney, and he was adamant that that was one of the things that Unity was going to make sure things were done the right way. And these types of agreements address those specific, basically shows like, hey, you need to keep things in order, or there's going, there could be injunctions or whatever legal means the county would use to protect county right-of-ways and assets. I specifically brought that up, and he was very receptive to that. So
It's been an issue been going on for years since the beginning of the service of South Central Rural Telephone and any services. The county has, multiple counties has always give entities the right to come in and use the right of way. And I think the way it's drawn up would be the big issue, whether, South Central Rural, take them for example, does an excellent job and puts back just exactly how they use it and puts the depth there as well. And that's something we need to make sure the depth on the right-of-way is put in at the correct level because of tiles and other issues with the counties, on serious situations, they don't have to always worry about cutting the cable. So it's been, I can speak that it is something that's, understandable.
right, and that's something too that we would discuss with them with the agreement, and I would think we could outline in there. Like I said, I was glad they called. He was very receptive, and like I said, they sounds like they want to do things the right way. So, anyway, this resolution here is not the agreement itself. It's just to recognize the status quo, kind of protects them too, shows our commitment to like, hey, we're not going to just ask you to dig everything up right now, which would be unfeasible anyway. But it would give me time to work with them on getting that agreement together and presenting that to you all, and give you time to review that, make suggestions and all that.
And I just want to make sure that their first request would be to do it off the right-of-way. If get a right-of-way from the landowners, this would only be using this since they couldn't. I don't want them just saying they're going to do everything on the right-of-way, because most cable companies, get. This is not giving them that right.
No, this is just dealing with county right-of-ways. Like I said, they're going to go through, and if you look like through the, the county clerk's office and you look at past deeds, a lot of utility companies will get, easements or right-of-ways or permission to go on the property and things like that. So, so yeah, this would only apply to the county right-of-ways.
All right, any other any other questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next, I need the approval to establish the opioid committee. And before I'll tell you how it's laid out, and make sure, Gary, I say this correctly of how we're going to do it, because I know we talked about it yesterday. The plan for the opioid committee is to have 2 magistrates, the sheriff, so it will not be specific names. The 2 magistrates will be appointed, but the sheriff will be on there, so no matter who sheriff is. The judge executive will be on there. The jailer will be on there, the county attorney, and a citizen at large to be nominated. So what I'll do in the next meeting is nominate the 2 magistrates and the citizen, but the other 4 will be on there by their title. Is that correct? Is that the ones? Okay, that's it. Okay.
Make a motion.
Okay. Motion by Durham.
Second.
Second by Botts. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll get that going. I'll have those nominations in the next meeting. We'll get that going and get applications in a formal way for people to go and apply for those funds. They'll be done once a year, and we'll hopefully be able to do some really good things with that. So, approve the establishment of the Agriculture Exposition Board. Okay, this is being created as an entity, a nonprofit entity, to go after new market tax credits. On that board, and this is not just for the new market tax credits, this will be the board that will govern the operations of this building, that will hire a director for the actual exposition board, and the director will report to this board. Okay, so the way I want to set this up, and we've set it up currently, is 3 representatives from the county that will be nominated by the county, by the fiscal court. 1 that will be from the UK Ag Extension Office in Barren County. 2 will be from the city of Cave City, which will be nominated by the council and the mayor, and then 1 that will be nominated by the Hart County Fiscal Court, deeming it a regional Ag Expo Center. Okay? That is the current layout of the way it will be set up. So, who did the motion? Pettigo, motion by Pettigo.
Second.
Second by Kinslow. Any discussion? So in the next meeting, what I'll do, I'll have the 3 county representatives that will be that. And I'm hoping that Ag Extension Office will be able to get their representative, and I'll let Cave City know to get us their 2 nominations in Hart County as well. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So that's moving. Approve the lease with Wabuck Development Company. I need a motion and a second before I can discuss.
Motion.
Motion by Vaught, second by Gross. This is the company that is going to be leasing the health department, the old health department, sorry. And I will say this, I know there's been concerns about, they thought the driver's licensing was going to go there. We did show them that property back, was that like November of last year? They were, the amount of money that we would have to put into it was not going to be feasible for what they were. They just weren't interested in that location. Now they've changed and they want a 6,000 square foot. So if you have a property that is close to 6,000 square foot with 60 parking spaces, they just put out the request last week, or no, it's been about a week and a half now, looking for property in Barren County. So they are moving forward with that pretty quick. I've submitted that to, a lot of the developments in our community to just tell them to apply for it, because I don't feel like as a county we have any facility that fits their criteria, but we just want them here. So we're trying to get them here as quick as we can. And if you look at their write-up, it says they're expecting 250 customers a day. So apparently our status of regional is really, now they understand the need. So that's good. That's very good. Yeah, the Secretary of Transportation called me also, and they're moving forward as quick as they can with it, and this is one of their top priorities. So that's great. We want that. So, but this lease is going to be for a senior housing development. This group came to us. They go after new market tax credits to build these facilities. They just built one in Caldwell County. I spoke to their judge, and he spoke very highly of this company. They're very successful when they go after the funding because they know what they're doing. It will be a senior living facility, which is filling a void in our community, and they're going to do a lease. So making sure we understand this, they lease, they give us an amount of money to lease it until March. If they've not gotten the funding by then, we get $100,000, which is non-refundable. Then they continue to go after those funds. If they do get the funds, then we'll get an additional $500,000 after that. So, and it'll be a lease. So the county will still own the property, but they will be able to build the senior living there. So, it's a win. So any other questions about the lease?
The upkeep of the property would be all.
Oh, yeah, and so you talk about, because you talked to their attorney, so.
So this right here is the option to lease, which an option contract is basically saying like, hey, we want to reserve a spot, we want to potentially lease the space. There's some other things that they got to do to get the funding for that. If it falls through, they're paying an amount, which is the consideration, to keep the option to lease open. And then obviously if they don't meet certain dates, then there's a non-refundable amount that we keep. And again, that's the consideration that's done in exchange for, because obviously when you do an option contract, you're holding it and you're not able to give it to anybody else. So in consideration, you keep the money if they don't meet their deadlines. But the actual lease that gets worked out would come later once they know that they have the funding and what they need to be able to build everything. And in that lease itself, it outlines things. And in a situation like this, and they kind of gave me a draft copy I kind of looked over, and it's just like any other type of long-term lease where all the liability shifts to them. For example, they'll maintain all the insurance, all the upkeep, everything pretty much. They basically act as owners, but the county still owns the property. We're the lessors, but the liability is all shifting to the people that are actually maintaining the property. So there's a lot more to it, but that all gets ironed out in the final lease. This is just to keep that option open.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. All right, I need your approval to sign this lease. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next. Okay, we're not doing the road department bids today. That will be in the middle of the month meeting, and Mr. Coomer will have his committee meeting the day before to go over those. Approve the invoices from Thomas Oil and Fuel totaling, did you say something?
I'm just saying, we were gonna go ahead and do everything except the fuel today, but.
Oh, you are? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you told me.
We were prepared last week, and,
Okay,
I
do-
mean, if you wanna go ahead, you're good, aren't you?
Okay, then that's good, yeah.
What we decided on, I don't have the bids, if somebody, I can get them if we need them, but to accept all other bids, because as I explained with the rock, tile, anything, if one time we need a load of nines and one quarry doesn't have it and the other one does, that protects us by accepting all bids, but they are locked in at those prices. Road tiles, everything else the same way. So I make a motion, we accept all bids on everything except fuel
Today, okay,
today.
gotcha. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. Second by, I think Stinson got you, Kinslow.
He did.
Yeah, second. So just make sure everybody understands this. We're voting for all the other bids except for fuel today. Fuel, sorry about that confusion, is going to be done at the next meeting. Okay.
Yeah, those was the exact same as what we read off last time. I mean, okay.
Yes. Yeah, nothing changed. So, anything else? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That's it. Okay, approve the invoice from Thomas Oil and Fuel for totaling $14,273.91.
Motion.
Motion by Pettigo.
Second.
Second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the invoice from the U.S. Bank Kentucky pooled checks for $43,630. Need a motion.
Make the motion.
Motion by Kinslow. Second by Stinson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, one announcement that we still need to do is the county fair. It's June the 22nd through the 27th. Please make sure to schedule your whole summer around this event because it is an epic event here in Barren County. If you've not ever been to the Barren County Fair, I highly recommend you come. And if you want to volunteer, they're always looking for volunteers. The Temple Hill Lions Club do all of this through volunteer efforts, and anything we can do to help support them, we will continue to do. If you want, you'll always see our people there at the fair. Marcus, I mean, you pretty much established residency down there during the whole week. Mr. Durham, the sheriff's office, they're down there a lot. So June the 22nd through the 27th is the Barren County Fair. Also, their pageant is June the 14th. So hopefully you have the good weather this time, and, So anyway, anything else? Nothing? All right, and next meeting will be June the 16th, 2026. Need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Coomer. Who was that? Stinson. Sorry, Stinson. Second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.